So that was just like a skeleton, that's why it was not coming. So yeah, but Oracle ਜਿਹੜਾ BizTech solution ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ ਥੋੜਾ slow ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਪਹਿਰੇ try ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ just to make sure yeah कि process is working. So मैं देखा काफी slow चल रहा है। Okay, before we start our procure to pay process, real quick I'll show you why that distribution set was not working yesterday. So, setup invoice, the distribution set I created, it wasn't full. So what happened? So this was like 0 and 0%. So it was like skeleton type, so it doesn't show up in the reoccurring invoice. That was the reason. When I changed it to the 10, to the full one, 90%, and this is 10%, you will see type full is here. Okay, so now when I went to the reoccurring invoices, it was appearing there. So yeah, if you see here, now the distribution set is available. Okay, that was the reason. Oh, what else we missed yesterday? Yeah, okay, we still have to do that prepayment, apply, not apply, and that one we'll also see during we're gonna use the same vendor, so we will get to see the how to apply a prepayment to the normal invoice. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll start our discussion again. Okay, so ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ email ਵੀ ਭੇਜੀ ਸੀ, right? In that email I explained, okay, these are the basic terms for payables and purchasing module. Okay, so what is the requisition, right? Type of requisition, we had discussed that before as well. What is RFQ? I hope you are familiar with that. What is the quotation? Type of quotation, standard quotation, bidding quotation, right? And what is the purchase order? A type of purchase order, standard purchase order, blanket purchase order, contract purchase order, planned purchase order. ये सारा उन्होंने कंपैरिजन कीता है आपस में, ठीक है। आई होपफुली कि ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ होना है, फिर भी जे तुसीं ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ पढ़ना चाहे पढ़ सकते हो। So like this one is okay, define supplier list, define and approve. Okay, supplier. पता नहीं फर्स्ट लेटर शो नहीं हो रहा ईमेल च, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ईमेल च तो है ना सारिਆਂ ਦੇ ये वाला। It is fine here. Okay. So these are the same thing what we're gonna do here. Okay, let's say this is the full process of procure to pay, right? We can start from requisition and convert that requisition into the purchase order, right? Or we can start directly from purchase order. Basically अपना motive यही है गया requisition we request to buy something to our manager and he approve that requisition process, which can convert it into the purchase order. ठीक है? And or we can start from purchase order, enter supplier, you all know, right? Supplier and supplier site, which we did in the payables module. We can use the same information here. I hope you remember we enable it as purchasing and payables, right? Whenever we create a supplier, we pick those options, payables and purchasing, right? सब तो पहली option होती है. Let me show. Okay, because we haven't used that. Did the setup for purchasing. I'll do the vision operation. Yeah. And you have same supplier access here as well. Supplier, so it will take you to the same screen. You can go through purchasing module or you can also go through payables module. Okay, let me find G. Yeah. Okay. So this vendor. Yeah, it's still slow today as well. Let me do it. Someone on call or it got dropped for someone? Okay. So you remember when we created this site, we said, okay, we're gonna use this site as for purchasing and also for payment, right? So if this one is unchecked, I cannot use this site to create a purchase order. Or if this is unchecked, I cannot make a payment to this site. So that's how you control, okay, the site uses, for what purpose you want to use it. So yeah, we were here. Okay, after when the purchase order is ready, create purchase order. Okay, so if enter supplier, what it means, if the supplier we are issuing the purchase order, if it's not in system, then create it, enter that supplier. If it's already in system, then use that supplier and enter the purchase order. Okay, so when the purchase order is done, right, so next thing is what happens, you send that purchase order to the vendor, and vendor send the goods to you, and you make a receipt for that in your inventory. Where and with that goods, vendor also send you invoice. It can be he can also send you email, right? The vendor can also fax you. There can be different method of sending invoice, or he can also send an invoice along with shipment, right? It depends on vendor to vendor. So when you have that invoice, you enter into the system. Okay, the one like I did so many manual invoices yesterday, right? The other which when we enter invoice, we enter this information, right? Invoice inform what is the invoice total, what should be the payment term, right? In what currency it should be, and what is the invoice date, all that information. Basically we enter all 3C, those are compulsory. And then also we have to enter other like payment terms, payment method, right? Okay. So we also gonna validate those, we're gonna make sure validate those invoice. Basically there shouldn't be any hold, right? And if the approval process is their system, then approve invoice, we didn't enable that one. Okay, so then after that make a payment for that invoice. Okay, and with the cash management you can reconcile with your bank statement. Okay, so ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਇਨਵਾਇਸ ਦੀ ਅਕਾਊਂਟਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਮੇਕ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ, ਰਾਈਟ, ਉੱਥੇ ਦੋ ਅਕਾਊਂਟਿੰਗ ਐਂਟਰੀਆਂ ਜਨਰੇਟ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਪੇਬਲਸ ਮੋਡਿਊਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਫਰ ਟੂ ਦ GL, ਰਾਈਟ। ਇੱਕ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਰਨਲ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਨਵਾਇਸਿਸ ਦਾ, ਐਂਡ ਇੱਕ ਜਰਨਲ ਬੰਦਾ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਦਾ। Okay, so this is a transfer to GL program. Move that accounting entry created in payables module, okay, to the GL. And same way we also have to transfer these accounting entry from purchasing module to the GL as well. Okay, so in purchasing module the accounting entry is for receiving transaction. Okay, जो product receive करते हैं वाली transaction. So what we will do, we'll start this process. Okay, first what I'll do, I'll create start from purchase order, ठीक है, then we'll start from requisition. So first thing in I'm in purchasing. So in this sheet we will keep listing what we need to for procure to pay process. Okay, okay, what is the first step? Looking at this diagram, बोलो यार, हेलो, फिर नाम लेना पैना। जतिंदर भाजी तुम दसो, हाँ जी, की होएगा पहला स्टेप? हेलो, हेलो, गुरिंदर, जतिंदर कॉल थे? हेलो, मैं क्या जतिंदर कॉल थे? हेलो, हाँ जी प्रभ, हाँ जी, की हो गया ना, म्यूट ते कीता है फोन? चलो कोई नहीं। ते हाँ जी प्रभप्रीत जी, तुसी दसोगे कि की होएगा पहला स्टेप फॉर प्रोक्योर टू पे प्रोसेस? हाँ जी, बिल्कुल सही क्या है। फर्स्ट थिंग वी गोना verify and if the supplier is in our system or not, right, if it's not in the system, then we have to enter. enter supplier and supplier site. That is the first thing. Okay, because you cannot enter purchase order without a supplier. You can raise requisition without supplier if you want to, but you cannot raise purchase order. ठीक है. Okay, next thing very अच्छा. उस तो बाद अगला step की होएगा. Let's say I am starting with purchase order, not with the requisition. So ਜਦੋਂ purchase order ਲਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ? I am also gonna open that purchase order screen. ठीक है जी. Purchase order, purchasing module, purchase order. ठीक है. If I have to query, then I can go to purchase order summary, and if I have to create new one, I'll go to the purchase order. ठीक है. Okay, so now के बच्चे की आवाज आ रही. So, थोड़ा म्यूट कर ले. Okay, so ਹੁਣ supplier ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਹੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ supplier ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. Let's say yeah, that is must. Okay, so if it's not in the system, we have to enter that. So this is standard purchase order. This is the creation date and time. Okay, so next thing we have to tell what is the ship to and bill to location. Since I'm in vision operation is a V1 is ship to location. I used it, and V2. But let's say this address. Yeah, this is a V1. Okay, this is our supplier address. So if we have to check that one, because when you get that purchase order in hand, it tells you, okay, this is your supplier, this is supplier address, and you can re-verify. Click on view supplier address and make sure it is matching with your paper purchase order, right? ठीक है. So this is gonna be buyer name. ठीक है. If I created one and buyer should be an employee, only then you can he can be a buyer. ठीक है. So from this point of view, I can see, okay, I need ship to and bill to address ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ supplier site ਤੋਂ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. If that is correct, okay, ship to and bill to location. ठीक है. यानी कि ਆਪਾਂ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ship to ਸਾਡੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ship ਕਰਨਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਤੇ ਬਿਲ ਕਰਨਾ. ठीक है. Sometime it can be different. So ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ third step ही ਜਿਹੜਾ third point आ रहा है, I'm just looking at this diagram here. Okay, this currency we mentioned in supplier site, that's why it's not letting us update. ठीक है. Right now status is incomplete. Next thing is important is buyer. Okay, so third is buyer. Okay, can we create we need to create a buyer if the person who is gonna create the purchase order is not a buyer, or the person who's gonna convert the requisition into the purchase order is not a buyer, he cannot do this step. The buyer honda, buyer can be only a company employee. So first we need to create that person as an employee. ठीक है. So employee, फिर उन्होंने buyer. Okay, so after that okay, what is the next thing? So these are the prerequisite to before we create a purchase order. These things should be defined in the system already. Okay, if we have put a contact address, we can also put that one for that vendor. Okay, so ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ description we can type anything. Standard purchase order. Okay, so right now तो यहाँ देखो a gray field है, purchase order number. System won't let me enter that purchase order number. ठीक है. because I want system to generate that purchase order number in a sequence, because ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ system setup ਕੀਤੇ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ payables module ਦੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ option ਆਈ ਸੀ ਤੇ we said okay we want this to be in a sequence. Okay, so ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ yeah, I'll go to the line. We have different line, price reference, reference document. Okay, so ਹੁਣ let's say I said goods. ਹੁਣ ਕਿਹੜੀ item ਹੈ? Do we know what item we need to order? And that item need to be defined in the system first, right? Only then you can, it will come in the list. Item, if that item is not in the system already, in Oracle already, then we have to define that again. Okay, if let's say I wanna search, so let's put something like TV. Oh yeah, someone define this one. Let's say I want to use this item 4D TV. Okay. Right now you see, so this is the category, it is coming from the item when we define that item. So we also tell okay what is the category of this item, that come automatically, and this is the item description, it will be coming here too. So we define an item in an inventory module. Okay, item defining inventory. So ये अपनी practice ਲਈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, I want to go to the inventory module. अपनी practice ਲਈ जो already list 'ਚ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਆਈਟਮਾਂ ਉਹ use ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. Okay. So okay, now it is asking me what is the unit of measure. I would say each. Okay. How many quantity? Let's say I want to order 5 HD TV, and what is the price? Since this is a 0, if I have that quotation I have used, right? There's another thing, quotation. So we make a combination of quotation and this vendor and vendor side. Then from those quotation price come automatically. Otherwise we have to enter it manually. Let's say the whatever 4D TV, I don't know it really exists or is it just someone enter. Okay, but we'll keep doing that. I keep using this one. So I'll put price of let's say 1,000 is fine. Okay, so we have to enter either one, promise date or need by date, one of them. I'll say हाँ okay, I thought first I thought okay I'll do that one later, but since you raised this question, no, that's good. Let's start this this process. What I'm showing you, let's start it from quotation to purchase order, then to payables module. So this is yeah. So I was just showing you, you can enter purchase order without quotation, which I showed here already, right? So right now let me see if I want to add another line from quotation. So you see this menu here, navigation path. In the purchasing module, RFQs and quotation, right? I'll open that one and there's the option of quotations. So I'll enter that one, quotation. Here I can say okay, I will put a standard one. Okay, so from what supplier I'm entering quotation. Okay, so this side, only one side, that's why it's come automatically. If you have multiple side, then system will ask you which one side. And ship to and bill to, I'm choosing same, it is coming from the supplier side. Status in process right now. Okay, so supplier code. So if I want it to be approved by someone in from my manager for this quotation, I'll check this box, otherwise I'll leave it. So Right now status is in process. It should be approved, only then it will be effective. Okay, so I at the line level I'll enter some item. Okay, if it's highlighted it means I have to type that item. Click OK. Right, if I know exact name of item. Otherwise I have to go to query mode, which is by combination. Now you see this screen is sky blue. I can search here anything, but if it's highlighted it means if we know exact name only then you can enter. Okay, so they have one more TV. Let's say same TV. I'll use this one from quotation. So let me enter price. This 10 came automatically because when someone defined this item in the inventory module, he put price over there. You can also do that, but that is not flexible as we have a quotations. Okay, let me put price here for same TV, maybe something around 800. Okay, this is supplier item. If a supplier has a different name for the same item, we can put that as well. So right now I'm saving it. After saving, you will get a quotation number here. Okay, our quotation number is 676. Okay, so since I'm not using approval required, that's why we are not getting this approval option. So I made this active. Okay, so let's say if I go here and I would say, what was the item name? Same TV. Okay, did you see the price came automatically, right? So that is what is the functionality of quotation. So you already have predefined, pre-negotiated, approved prices from your vendor, and you when you enter that item in the purchase order, the price come automatically. ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, usually quotation ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋ paper 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ, right? ਜਦੋਂ buyer ਨੇ enter ਕਰਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ company ਦੇ, then he have to go on paper and look for that item one by one. So in a let's say it's not easy, right? If you have to go and find the price first, then enter in system. Now system is doing that job for you, right? Let's say 10 items here. Okay, so if you see here reference document, now I see standard quotation on line 2. Line 1 I didn't put, right? So on line 2 you have standard quotation document number 676, right? This is quotation number, and that is the line 1 of the quotation. That is the functionality of quotation, right? So मान लो कि उस तो बाद future वास्ते इतने और effective date भी होनी है. That's minimum order we can also control. That's all. Okay, let's say in future the price got changed. It got reduced 750, right? ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ purchase order ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ change ਹੋਣਾ, right? Because it once pulled the price what was when the PO line created ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆ ਗਿਆ, so it doesn't go and change automatically. ठीक है, ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨੂੰ manually change करना पैना if you want to, but if you enter new line in the future, so it will be 750 not 800. ठीक है, so let's say I just clicked on save to, which is gonna save this purchase order, and we will get the purchase order number. The line has no shipment or distribution. Okay, ये कह रहा है कि तो ही shipment information and the purchase order the distribution है, distribution mean accounts, that information is not entered yet, so we have to enter that. It's just a note. It's not error or it's not a warning. Okay. So now the process status is still incomplete. It need to be approved. Okay. So what I'll go to the shipment of line 1 first. Okay. Shipment information. So this is now telling us, okay, line shipment of the purchase order line has a V1 org. What is the V1? This is the inventory org. Okay. Now the ship to location है, it's coming same. If we want it to be, we can change here as well. Right. So, but we for our testing we will keep this one and continue. Okay, we can split here. Okay, send 3 item at this location, 2 item at different location, right? So that's why we can use this shipment information. But okay. In the more tab, we are telling, okay, what is the receipt close tolerance and invoice close tolerance? Okay, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਾਂ tolerance ਕਿਵੇਂ apply ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ. The one we have, this one is the we're gonna discuss like match approval level. If we have two-way matching, right? So then we have to match with purchase order only. If three-way matching, we have to match with purchase order plus receipts. If we have four-way matching, then purchase order, receipt plus inspection. It's written in this email which I sent you initially, right? This is the matching approval level. Two-way matching, three-way matching, four-way matching. Okay. So it depends कि ताड़ी company किस तरह दा product buy कर रही है. Let's say they are just buying a service, right? Purchase order. ठीक है. Let's say they bought consulting services, let's say telephone services, right? उस case you have no receiving, right? And you want this to be matched with purchase order only. So that will be two-way matching. You cannot match with the receipts and you cannot do inspection. So it cannot be three-way or four-way. But right now we bought a product, okay, we want this to be matched with the receipts, so I would say three-way matching. And invoice match option, I'll choose the receipt. But you can override it while you enter a receipt. I mean, when you enter invoice match option, you can say, no, I want to match with the receipt, even though it's purchase order here. Okay. And let's do four-way matching so that we also cover the inspection part. So resetting the inspection required is sync with match approval level. That's okay. Now they're saying we are updating it. It's a level 4, so we are changing the receipt inspection so that it can receipt routing so that it can include inspection as well. So this one is the next option, which is accrue at receipts. Okay, this is related to our accrual accounting. ਜੇ purchase order line ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹ ਵਾਲਾ box check ਹੈ ਗਿਆ accrue at receipt, then it means we are using accrual accounting for this procure to pay process. Accrual accounting ਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ concept ਦੱਸਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ discuss ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ. So when we raise purchase order and after that we do receiving, ठीक है. उदो केड़ी accounting होंदी है? So it is debit and credit. केड़ा account debit होएगा? Inventory ने gain कीता, right? We received in inventory. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. उस concept दे हिसाब नाल what comes in inventory च आया ना, debit what comes in. We will debit inventory. Some people call it finished goods, some call it inventory product, और ਜਿਹੜਾ भी material inventory material account, और जो भी account होएगा ਆਪਾਂ debit करेंगे inventory. Okay. So we're gonna do credit accrual account, AP accrual. Usually ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ what credit what goes out, ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ product buy ਕੀਤਾ, right? So ਬਾਹਰ ਕੀ ਗਿਆ, money, ਪੈਸਾ, right? We made payment, right? So simple wording ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਲ accrual accounting ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, if we have used cash accounting, so what we are gonna use debit inventory, credit cash. But in this scenario, why we are not using cash? Because ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ receiving ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ, right? It takes time, right? We have to enter invoice, then make payment for that, and when we make that payment, it deduct money from our bank, right? Basically I mean कि ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ receive ਕੀਤਾ ਇੱਕਦਮ payment ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਆਇਆ, ਥੋੜਾ time ਲੱਗਾ, right? It can be one day if your company is doing fast payments, right? Payment processing तेज है, or it can be a week, or it can be like 3-4 week as well, or sometime it may be months, right? So ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ track ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੀ payment ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ ਹੈਗੀ, that is through accrual, AP accrual account. And at the month end, right, this account should be close to zero, right? It means if this account is close to zero, ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ product receive ਕੀਤੇ ਨੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ purchase order ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ invoice match ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ, so then this account get debit when we do matching with the purchase order. So inventory receiving ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਗਲਾ ਆਪਣਾ step ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, invoicing, right? We enter invoice system. ਸਾਨੂੰ vendor ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ purchase order raise ਕੀਤਾ, purchase order raise ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ accounting ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ, when we gonna do receiving ਉਦੋਂ accounting ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, that is the accounting event, then we do invoicing, ठीक है? उदू भी फिर हमेशा डेबिट क्रेडिट होएगा, राइट? डेबिट व्हाट कम्स इन, क्रेडिट व्हाट गोज आउट. फिर डेबिट की होएगा, ठीक है? सो डेबिट अपना इस टाइम जिथे हुण आपां एक एपी जदों आपां परचेज ऑर्डर नाल मैच कीता, ठीक है? सो ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ AP accrual ਆਪਾਂ debit ਕਰਤਾ ਨਾ, when it match with the AP accrual credit ਕਰਦਾ, when we match it with the invoice, so AP accrual account debit ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਤੇ credit ਕਿਹੜਾ account ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, the charge account which is at the purchase order. ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ charge account mention ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, distribution, we tell okay this is the PO charge account. So this account will be equipment expense account. You see here, right? So this account, this a whole combination of company, department, account, product, sub account, product. Okay, so we will, this is a charge account that will be credit. You can say charge account or expense account. Okay, for ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ payment ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, right, then we debit charge expense. ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ expense ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ liability sometime, ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ normal service ਲੈਣੇ ਆ, then we hit expense account direct. but ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ product ਜਿਹਦਾ inventory material, ਕੁਝ raw material ਖਰੀਦਦੇ ਆ, then they call it liability account. ਦੋਨੇ different ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, I mean not call, then we have to hit liability account. ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ normal item ਜਿਹਦਾ ਸਿਰਫ purchase order, then we hit there is no receipt, then we hit the expense account. ਦੋਨੇ separate account ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. so ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ हाँ जी, ਇਹ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇਮ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, हाँ जी, ਇਹੀ ਨੇਮ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਦਰ ਲਾਇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਇਹੀ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਦਰ ਲਾਇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਜਾਂ हाँ जी, हाँ जी, ਹੁਣ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਾਂ, ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ, ਵੀ ਡੈਬਿਟ ਦਿਸ ਵਨ ਐਂਡ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਕੈਸ਼ ਅਕਾਊਂਟ. ਓਕੇ, ਕਿਹਦੇ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ तो मैं ਤੁਹਾਡਾ क्वेश्चन नहीं समझा किहदे तो बाद ਤੁਸੀਂ कह रहे हो हम्म हम्म हाँ ये तो मैंने अगे भी एक बारी किया ही because it's just a different naming convention. You can call it cash, you can call it as a bank account. मैं ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੈੱਕ ਹੈਗਾ that can be now ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ it can be check, it can be electronic, it can be wire. That's why I'm not saying check. So that is just a payment method. चलो ठीक है हुण इहदा हुण 3 ट्रांसैक्शन हो गई राइट नाउ इहदा की फायदा होया आपां लेट मी टेल यू दैट ठीक है जी जदों लेट्स सी कि आपां रिसीविंग कर ली है ते आपां इनवॉइस ओदी मैच नहीं कीती राइट then whatever is the balance credit balance in this AP accrual account it means company has to pay that amount right or not I mean like pay that amount जिन्ना भी बैलेंस है AP accrual account ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ it means कि इन्ने purchase order है ਆਪਾਂ receive कर लेने but we have not entered invoice for that one right enter invoice and match for that one so that's what I'm saying कि ਆਪਾਂ ਚਾਹਨੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ receive ਕੀਤਾ ਇਨਵੈਂਟਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ at the month end this account need to be clear so that we can say okay whatever we received we enter that invoice in the system ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਈਟਮਾਂ ਲੈ ਲਈਆਂ ਬਟ ਉਹਦੀ ਇਨਵਾਇਸ ਐਂਟਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ if the balance is in this account then it means something is wrong ठीक है then user has to verify okay why this balance is there and you can query by this account and it will tell you okay there is one AP accrual report as well that will tell you okay you did this for these purchase order you did receiving and not match invoices has not been matched to this purchase order ठीक है तो ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਹੁਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਤੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸੋ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਗਲੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਲੈਟਸ ਸੇ ਵੀ ਐਂਟਰਡ ਇਨਵਾਇਸ ਵੀ ਹੈਵਨਟ ਪੇਡ paid that invoice yet so then we will see credit in this liability expense charge account ठीक है so whatever is in this account it means your company owe this much money to third party your trading partner or your vendor so these are just different names okay so you need to it means you have to make a payment for this much amount which is in this account right तो जब आप पेमेंट बना करते हैं so we just make that credit from the cash account right so before we make payment right अपन पता होता है कि किन्ने दी पेमेंट करनी है your payment manager whoever is gonna make payments make sure okay they do have this much balance in this cash account okay कोई क्वेश्चन ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ क्योंकि AP मॉड्यूल ਤੇ procure to pay process ਇਹ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੇਸ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ accrual accounting ਦੇ ਬੇਸ ਤੇ ठीक है ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ because I learned at my own ठीक है मैं हाँ जी राइट नहीं ਜਿਹਦੀ ਇਨਵਾਇਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਦੀ ਯੂਜ਼ਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ so what we can do okay we can ask that vendor to send invoice if he says no okay then we say okay now we have a justification right user has justification this vendor didn't send the invoice that's why the balance is there that is acceptable ठीक है जी बट रियल लाइफ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਭੇਜਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਨਵਾਇਸ ਭੇਜਣ ਦੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ right right it will happen definitely it will happen it's not no doubt Right. Okay, so far what I explained, what we did here according to this diagram, since quotation is not here, so I can add another box here, quotation, create purchase order, ठीक है. So उस तो बाद we enter supplier already ਆਪਾਂ कर चुके हैं. So now I have to do receiving, I have to enter invoice and match with the purchase order. Since we said a three-way matching, four-way matching, there should be one more step here. Receiving an inventory. Okay, so what I'll do, okay, let me complete this purchase order first. Okay, this is the four-way, so I said okay, accrue at receipt. Okay, so these are some other functionality. If I'll tell you just for your information, this is firm. If this is, I checked, you cannot change this purchase order line, this method at even at the invoice level. ठीक है, जो तुम इनवॉइस एंटर कर दो नहीं चेंज कर सकते. दिस इज VMI एंड कंसाइंड, दोज आर टोटली टू डिफरेंट प्रोसेस. VMI इज लाइक a vendor maintained inventory. ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਨਵੈਂਟਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਪੇਸ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਪੇਸ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਲੈਸ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਿੰਗ ਔਰ ਹੈਗਾ, ਲਾਈਕ ਆਈ ਮੀਨ ਰਾ ਮਟੀਰੀਅਲ ਦਾ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਹੈਗਾ, ਔਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਉਵੇਂ ਉਵੇਂ ਫਿਲ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਏਗਾ. ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਿਲ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ. So we just give him space. We don't like make him payment. We don't enter invoice until we consume that product. So एक different process है, just for your information. कि जे कल तुसी ये word सुनो तो don't get confused. Yeah, that's a separate process. So another one is a consigned one. So it means you have it's very similar to this VMI, but in this case you maintain your inventory at your own, but you don't enter invoice or make payment until you consume that product. ठीक है, so in case ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੌਬ ਤੇ ਹੋਵੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ something like that vendor maintain inventory ਜਾਂ consigned ਕੋਈ process ਆ ਜਾਏ, and I can show you at that time. ठीक है, ਹੁਣ ਜਿੰਨੀ अब मैं करा रहा ਇੰਨੀ practice ਕਰ ਲਓ, that will be more than enough. ठीक है, so ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ status ਕੀ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ ਉਸ shipment ਦਾ. Now we can check each line, order line, purchase order line. What is the status? Quantity order 5, received 0. ਜੇ ਕੋਈ cancel ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆਪਾਂ receive ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ 0 ਹੈ. ਜੇ ਕੋਈ cancel ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ line, sometime partially cancel ਹੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ. bill ਕਿੰਨੇ ਦੀ invoice ਨਾਲ matching ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ. ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਜੇ let's say we enter 5 and match with the invoice, it will be 5 here. ठीक है, so this is another thing, receiving control कि तुसी कितनी tolerance है. let's say day 5, right? अर्ली डे ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ 5 ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, 5 days after ਉਹਦੀ ਡਿਊ ਡੇਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਨੀਡ ਬਾਈ ਡੇਟ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤੋਂ 5 ਦਿਨ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਸੀਵ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. so what should be the action if it's not under within this early days and late days? Then I am saying okay, give it a warning, because I did these setups on the supplier side but on this tolerance side, so I said give warning, not reject, not none. This one is defaulting from those setups. Okay, over shipped tolerance के जो 100 product किया तो उन्हें up to 110 we can say okay, that is still acceptable, we will receive in the inventory, but after that system gonna give us a warning. Now it's up to us, we wanna accept it or not. ठीक है, miscellaneous आ गया, लो substitute receipt. ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਕਿ ਸੋਨੀ ਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ, ਬਟ ਸੇਮ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਹੀ ਸੈਂਡ ਫॉर द ਸੈਮਸੰਗ, ਸੋ ਮੇਬੀ ਮਾਡਲ ਨੰਬਰ ਲਿਟਲ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਅਲਾਓ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਰਿਸਿਪਟ ਰਾਊਟਿੰਗ, ਨਾਓ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਸੇਇੰਗ inspection required. Why it is saying inspection required? Because I changed it to the four-way matching. System ने automatic ऐसे change कर देता है, नहीं तो otherwise it's gonna be standard routing here. ठीक है, standard receipts. So enforce ship to, हाँ भी ਜਿਹੜਾ ship to location वही होवे, जे किते होर भेज दिंदे आ तो warning ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ. Okay, So if I go to distribution, you can see those account as well. So this is the pure charge account, that is the one we're gonna hit most of the time, but there are two other account which is accrual account. ठीक है, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਨਵੈਂਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਰਿਸੀਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ठीक है, AP accrual account ਉਹ ਇਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ account payables, because we are in vision operation, so person who did setup says he put the account payables account. ठीक है, but just try to grab the concept की है. So also there is one variance account as well. If the purchase order price is not matching with us, so then we will get the whatever the difference will go to the purchase order variance account. ठीक है जी. Okay, any question इत्थे? So same way I have to enter the shipment for shipment distribution detail for second line. ठीक है, 10 item है. It's the same thing. If I want a 4-way, I'll make it 4-way. Okay, now it is giving me, okay, I'm changing it to the inspection required receipt ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਦਿਖਾਈ. If it's a 3-way, फिर inspection required नहीं आती, but since it's already updated once, ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ 4-way ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ standard receipts ਹੋਣੀ. Okay, so okay, so now I did not enter the need by date or promise date for this line. ठीक है, आ देखिए ਇੱਥੇ ही ਇੱਥੇ मैं enter नहीं की. now system is asking me to enter that one at shipment, so I can add same thing, either I enter here or at the, let's say we have a tolerance of 5 days, let's say I enter 13 which is 8 days. ठीक है, so ਜਦੋਂ मैं receive करूँगा system ने की warning देनी. Okay, the same account, everything same here. So this is the need date 7 August, which is within tolerance, this is out of tolerance. Okay, so in the end, okay, shipment more, even though I don't do that, system will create it automatically. Okay, so next step I have to do is 7201 is the PO number, I need to approve it. So this is the approval process. The line 1 schedule 1, the item is restricted and the supplier is not an approved supplier list. So this is also one of the prerequisite. So this vendor should be, for item, this item, it should be in the approved supplier list if you enable that functionality. हाँ हाँ, नहीं बिल्कुल एक्चुअली की है गया है. What happens, we set up a approval hierarchy with limit. ਜਿਹੜਾ यूजर है we can say okay it has 0 limit. ठीक है, 0 तक. फिर है कि अगर definitely it will go up. Let's say आप देखो total 12,000 है, right? Let's say I have a limit of 15,000. फिर अप्रूव हो जाएगा सिस्टम. उन्हें वही मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ शो करना है. Since ਉਹ है गया, that part is called a position hierarchy, approval hierarchy setups. So वो पूरा purchasing module वाले पास चल जाना, but okay, no problem, I will cover that too. राइट नाउ की कीता होया है कि जेड़ा आ वाला बायर है गया, राइट, दैट्स ऑन माय नेम, आई गेव हिम द enough limit he can approve anything. But what we will do, I'll create a new id, new user id, then we'll चल ठीक है। हाँ जी, सो उस ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਥੱਲੇ ਟੈਬ ਹੈਗੀ ਜੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ, if what rate you wanna put, let's say in GBP you can put different rate type, ठीक है, but ਇਹਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। So what I have to do, it is telling me this first item is not in the approved supplier list. Okay, 4D TV, I have to go and add that to the approved supplier list. Supply base, yeah, this is on approved supplier list. Okay, I'm checking it for V1, that's the org where we are gonna receive. So I have to search for that item, like 4D TV, right? That item is I think not defined yet, not added yet. One second. 4D TV. ठीक है, now it is telling me for this item there is what company does, okay, ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋ ਮਲਟੀਪਲ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਰਾਈਟ। ਸੋ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵਾਣਾ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਇਟ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦਾ ਬਾਇਰ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਕਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਾਣ ਪਛਾਣ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਕੋਲ ਨਾ ਬਾਈ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਾਈਟ ਬੀ ਗੈਟਿੰਗ ਸਮ ਮਿਊਚੁਅਲ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ, ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਨੇਜਰ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਇਰ ਲਈ ਨਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਕਿ ਆਹ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਨੇ ਅਪਰੂਵ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਪ੍ਰੈਫਰ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਨੇ, ਰਾਈਟ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਬਾਈ ਕਰੋ, ठीक है। उस सिनेरियो ਵਿੱਚ this is the another Oracle functionality approved supplier list। ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਜੇ ਐਂਟਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕਿਸ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਕੋਲ ਬਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਆਹ ਵਾਲੀ ਆਈਟਮ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ you should buy only from GE Detroit, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਈਟ ਤੋਂ, ਇਸ ਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ ਹੈ, ठीक है। ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਰੀ ਅਪਰੂਵਲ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਇਟ ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕਲੀ ਨੋਟੀਫਾਈ to your manager कि किसी ने कुछ एंटर किया, so I'll just save। because as ਜਿਹੜੀ item ਹੈਗੀ ਨਾ 4D TV, when someone defined in the inventory ਉੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੈੱਕ ਬਾਕਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ buy from approved supplier only, ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ, that's why system was giving me this error, ठीक है। okay, let me try approve now, ठीक है। ਆਹ ਵਾਲੀ ਆਈਟਮ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, देखिए जी आइटम ਦੇ ਵੀ ਐਟਰੀਬਿਊਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ that can be controlled, ठीक है। ਇਸ ਆਈਟਮ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ only buy from the approved supplier, ਇਸ ਆਈਟਮ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ you can buy from anyone, ठीक है। हाँ जी, ਆ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਸ਼ਾਕਿਰ ਜੀ, ਆ ਦੇਖਿਓ approve, when I'm gonna click approve, okay, so submit for approval, if I click on forwarding, ठीक है, I can forward it to this guy, ठीक है। ਹੁਣ what system does, it first check, okay, is this ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ approval ਲਈ submit ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, it does have enough limit, if नहीं then it will go to your whoever is the your manager in the hierarchy, if your manager doesn't have enough approval it will go to the his manager, so it will go all the way up to, it can go up to your company CEO or CFO, either one, ठीक है जी। हाँ जी, ਉਹ ਨਿਯਮ ਹੈ, ਲੈਟ ਮੀ ਕੰਪਲੀਟ ਦਿਸ ਵਨ ਫਸਟ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਵਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਹੈ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸੀ ਚਲੋ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ, ਬਟ ਆਈਲ ਕਵਰ ਦੈਟ। ठीक है जी, no problem. Okay, so okay, let me, so right now I'm telling, okay, what is the uh, I'm gonna submit for approval because मैं की ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ by default ਜਿਹੜੀ approval ਹੈ process ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਇਰ ਮੈਂ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਿੰਕਡ ਹੈਗਾ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਥਿੰਗ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਓ ਦਾ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਥਡ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਪਰਚੇਜ਼ ਆਰਡਰ ਭੇਜਣਾ, ਹਾਊ ਯੂ ਗੋਣਾ ਸੈਂਡ ਟੂ ਹਿਮ, ਯੂ ਗੋਣਾ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਇਟ and then send him the paper or you're gonna fax it। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ fax number enter ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। this functionality will work only if ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦੇ IT ਹੋਏਗਾ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ, ਦੇ integrated the fax option with the Oracle। ठीक है, जो उन्होंने नहीं enable ਕੀਤੀ है फिर नहीं चलेगा। but Oracle given you this transmission options, you can print it, you can fax it, you can email it। ठीक है, आई ईमेल ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਸਾਈਟ ਬਣਾਈ ਨਾ, आई एंटर दिस ईमेल। ठीक है, if I uncheck it won't work, so let's say I want to print it, so I'll click OK। now what will happen, it will, now it is the system is checking in the approval hierarchy, does this person has enough limit or not। नहीं ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕ ਜੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਈਮੇਲ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਚੇਜ਼ ਆਰਡਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵੈਂਡਰ ਕੋ ਈਮੇਲ ਚਲੀ ਜਾਏਗੀ। हाँ, इंटीग्रेशन दी Oracle ने ऑप्शन देती है। नाउ इट्स अप टू यू, यू वांट टू यूज दैट और नो। सो आप देखो जी, अप्रूव स्टेटस नाउ अप्रूव्ड, because why I was able to approve, because I do have this much limit। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨੋਟਿਸ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਕਰਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਦੇਖੋ। ਹੁਣ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਵਟ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਡੂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਰੈਕੁਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਆਈ ਯੂਜ਼ ਅ ਨਿਊ ਯੂਜ਼ਰ ਆਈਡੀ। ਫਿਰ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੀ ਰਿਕੁਇਜ਼ਿਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹਦਾ EMPLOYEE चाहिए पर्सन, बायर किदा डिफाइन करना, यू विल नोट डाउन इन दैट क्लास, इन दैट प्रोसेस। आप नवी एक आइटम भी एंटर कर सकते हैं, बट दैट विल लीड अस टू द all inventory setup again, which is gonna take a lot more time again। चलो ठीक है, but let's see। Okay, now I wanna check who's approved। So on this purchase order we have this something called tool and inquire। on inquire I can see, okay, view action history। ठीक है, I can see who approved this one। I was the one who submitted and approved। if I don't have enough limit, it might be telling okay in process with your manager, so वो ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ चला जाएगा। ठीक है, it's gonna be keep adding this sequence 0 1 2 3। so now it is gonna tell okay in step 2 in process with your manager। if your manager approve, it will say okay approve and that who performed, your manager name will be there। ठीक है जी, इस तरह सिस्टम्स कंपनी ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਡ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਜਾਂ ਕਿ ਲੇਟਰ in case they need to check ਕਿ ਕਿਹਦੀ ਅਪਰੂਵਲ ਨਾਲ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਇਆ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਚ, they can get and catch that person if something goes wrong। ठीक है, so now this purchase order is complete। now you see status is approved, so now this is ready to receive। okay, I'll do the receiving part। ठीक है, मेरे को टाइम कितना है गया, because I want to complete at least this process today। yeah, 8:30, 20 minutes I get 25 minutes। okay, so I'll close the quotation, I don't need। so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do receiving। I can do receiving here as well in receiving receipts, or I can go to inventory module and do receiving there। either one it will work, but since I'm already in I am purchase order purchasing, but usually in the company what happens, they go to the inventory। ठीक है, let me show you in inventory that way। so I'm going to inventory vision operations। so transactions, the same option will be here too। When I'm gonna click receipts, it's gonna ask me under which inventory organization. I would say V1. Okay, but okay, I'll go back to the purchasing. So basically same function is available in inventory module and also in purchasing module. Okay. But for our this demonstration, I will just use the receiving in purchase order module, but it's no difference. Okay, so V1. So now you will see this form. This is the find expected receipts under which inventory V1. ठीक है, केड़ा ऑपरेटिंग यूनिट है, विजन ऑपरेशन. ठीक है, ओके. सोर्स टाइप किया गया है, इंटरनल है. जे तो इंटर कंपनी बाय कर दे देन यू नीड टू चूज इंटरनल, और इफ यू नो इस थर्ड पार्टी और ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर, यूज सप्लायर, राइट, और यूज ऑल, इट विल सर्च फॉर द बोथ. ठीक है, हुण अपना परचेज ऑर्डर नंबर वाज आई कैन सर्च बाय परचेज ऑर्डर नंबर 7201. ठीक है, इफ दैट इज अ वैलिड परचेज ऑर्डर. ठीक है जी, ਉਹਦੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਲਾइन इफ आई वांट टू गिव आई कैन गिव दैट और आई कैन स्किप दैट. ਉਹਦੀ ਲਾइन 1 हैगी 4D TV. ठीक है, लेट्स से I wanna search it by vendor only, then I will enter only GE Detroit and all the KD location. If I click on find, it will bring those one. So if you wanna see closed PO, when PO get closed, when this is match your invoice, the PO get closed. So if you wanna include all those one, you can click on that too. Okay, so but let me query it by that vendor, because I did one more purchase order before today, before this class, to make sure your process is working. So if I search by vendor and vendor site only, it will pull the both order, purchase order. Okay, let me, I want to pull all the items, so I will not put a specific item. Okay, ये हैगी कि डेट रेंज सिर्फ वही बाय करो. लेट्स से you wanna whatever receiving is due today, only if you wanna find those one, then you can click on this box. ठीक है, let's see what happens if I click on find. तो ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ expected purchase order ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੇ. This is the receipt header ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ receiving transaction ਕਰਨੀ, that is inventory receiving. Now it is telling me total 4 line are expected to be received. ठीक है, ठीक है. Okay, so but we order this one, that one, this line, right? This is the purchase order number. You can see here that is order number 7201, but for this one, this is might be different order, 7161, right? This is the old one. Okay, this is 7201 and this is 7200 and this is again 7201. ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਕਿਹਦੀ receiving ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ. So now you see I clicked on same time, on which I put date 13th of August. ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ tolerance ਕੀ ਆ ਗਈ ਹੈ, 5 day early or 5 day late. ਤੇ 13 ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਇਹਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ 8 ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ, so it exceed the tolerance. So now system is giving us this message, purchase order receipt date tolerance exceeded, because the receipt you are trying to transact exceeds the day early or late tolerance. ठीक है, tolerance wide हो गई. सिस्टम ने मैसेज ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਦੋ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. ਫਰਸਟ, ਰਿਟਰਨ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿਪਮੈਂਟ ਟੂ ਦਾ ਸਪਲਾਇਰ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਥਿੰਕ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਨੈਸੈਸਰੀ. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਭੇਜ ਦਿਓ, ਵੀ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ. ਸੋ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਮੋਡੀਫਾਈ ਦਾ ਰਿਸੀਵਿੰਗ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਸੈਟਅਪ ਐਟ ਦਾ ਪਰਚੇਜ਼ ਆਰਡਰ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਆਈਟਮ ਔਰ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਵਲ ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਯੂ ਲੋਅਰ ਸੀਟਸ, ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਰਚੇਜ਼ ਆਰਡਰ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਤੇ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ 13 ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਪਾ ਦਿਓ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਕਨਫਿਊਜ਼ਨ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਵਿਲ ਟੇਕ ਇਟ. But that is a note, because I said warning. If I would have said okay reject only, then system will say okay no you cannot do at all. But even though since I said warning only, system will allow me. and I want to create a receipt for these two line. ठीक है जी. Okay, if it's like a material item or finished good, usually the inventory that might be lot control, then we have to enter, okay, in with what is the lot location or inventory location. But since we don't need it for our this testing, so I'll just do that. Now you see the routing is inspection required. ठीक है. ਹੁਣ ਆ ਦੇਖੋ ਇੱਥੇ receiving destination type is receiving area. This is 510, that is company receiving area. Inventory receiving area. ਉੱਥੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ. So I'm making these two lines as the receipts. Okay, so I can directly enter inventory here, but if I say inventory here, then I have to enter that inventory information as well. You see now system is asking this sub inventory, which is now making it mandatory field. Okay, but what I'll follow the full step. I won't do in the one step. If I want to do one step, I can directly do in inventory, but since we have to do inspection, what I'll do it in the first in the receiving area. Okay, so just check this box and did receiving. So this is like our inventory people who does this job, and we are covering that too just to complete the process. Now our sheet number is 9013. Okay, for these two lines. Okay, but we can also enter extra information if we have like shipment number के जड़ी shipment number सी ਉਹਦੇ डब्बे उत्ते लिखिया ਹੁੰਦਾ है पैकेज पर वो की ही shipped date की है ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ tracking number की है ਆਪਾਂ कुछ enter करना होवे for our own reference I can do that too. ठीक है. किन्ने कंटेनर सी these are all extra information. This can be make mandatory if your company need to, but right now no. Or also there is another thing you notice, you might have not noted down. This is calling me new receipts. If I check on add receipt, system will ask me, okay, find the old receipt and add these item to the same receipt as well. Okay, but since let's say this is our first receipt, I am creating a new one. Okay, so I have to just click on save. So I already did that. Okay, so this receipt is 9013. So system submit a receiving program. Yeah, these are running. Receiving transaction processor. When I clicked on save, it ran this program. So we have to make sure it doesn't error out. Okay, pay on the receipt pattern wise. Okay, so let me close that one. So we have that receipts, that is receiving, but we haven't moved it to the inventory yet. Okay, now we'll go to the receiving transaction since this is four-way matching, right? So we know the receipt number 9301, right? It was different. I know the purchase order number 7201. Okay, so now it is gonna ask me the which line. So we did two lines, so if I want to find both, I'll keep it empty. If I want one or two, I'll enter the line number. Okay, so I'm gonna see, okay, find. Since we just put in the inventory receiving area, now we have to move it. We have to do inspection, and also we need to move it to the inventory. Now you see this one. Now we have I have different option, inspect. Okay, I wanna do five this quantity. Okay, I need to change this to the location inventory. Okay, now system gonna ask me the sub inventory. Where in sub inventory is like basically the area in the main inventory you have to choose. So I will just choose either one. So I'll choose the stores. Okay, maybe we do have. Okay, so just random. I hope this will be okay. No. And same thing for, and after doing that I have to click on inspect. So I'm saying okay, I want to accept this one during inspection or reject. Okay, so I would say okay, I accept these one, all are good. Okay for this line, but I'll reject partially for the other lines. Okay, for this line, for second one, let me require this. I can do that as well without entering to the inventory. I can do inspect both line as well. Let me do that first. I would say 7 accepted only. For this one 5 I already did. I wanna save it. This line I'll accept everything. Save it. Okay. देखिए मैं 7 की ही सिर्फ राइट 7 I inspected, ठीक है, but still 3 are there, right? Those are still in the receiving area. Okay, what you wanna do with those 3? I would say go to this one, go to inspect, and I would save those 3 I wanna reject. Okay, ठीक है जी. But I'll move these one to the, this one already I moved to the inventory. I'll give the sub inventory stores. Okay, if when, okay, this is again, this is lot control sub inventory, so I have to enter lot or serial number. Basically ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ item ਹੈਗੀ, this is lot control, so I can choose the existing one. If it's not there, I can type my own as well. 7. Move this to be, okay, now okay, समझ लग रहा है की कर रहे हैं मैं कि क्वेश्चन है कोई? I did receiving in inventory, inventory step सी ना, ऐसे करके मैं पहला वाइड कर रहा है, but it's okay. So that I can show you inspection. तो ही कलर receiving करके भी inventory बेचना, सिर्फ check receiving you can come go to the payables module and enter invoice. Okay. Okay. So also on this receiving you can see okay quality result की again है we purchase order की है किस purchase order भी receiving सी shipment की सी view receipts you can do that. But let's go to the payables module now. So where we gonna match this purchase order with the invoice, right? Okay, I'm gonna enter a new invoice. I can do it by batch or I can, since this is not batch control, I think I can enter invoice directly. Field must be entered. So this is the invoice date, which basically today date. Invoice amount, let's say I enter anything, but we have to enter what is on the invoice header. This, so let's say we got invoice, one was the 800 for 5 item, I don't know total, so that should be we need to enter, right? But I'll get to see what is on the line, so I'll update the header later. But usually when the person get invoice, it has total on the invoice, that should be entered here. Okay, standard vision operation trading partner, whose I got this for GE Detroit. Okay, now system is telling me, you remember I created prepayment yesterday. System कह रहा है कि prepayment are available for this application, uh, available for application to the invoices for this supplier. I can apply those one. For how to apply that one, now they're telling choose the action button here, the one right here, and click on apply and apply. When I click action button, I get this option apply and then apply, and do that and apply prepayment to this invoice. ठीक है, मैं कल कह रहे हैं ना अपना सेपरेट की बनानी, कल I'll cover during the payment of our procure to pay process. So now this is the GL date, payment currency, ठीक है, match action purchase order, but I can still choose here in this match. Now we have to use this one. Okay, so payment method check immediate. Okay, same information again. So I'll click on match. ठीक है, so now it is telling me for this supplier, if you have purchase order number 7201, you can enter that, or you can click on find, or you can enter the item directly, right? You have item on the invoice, right? You can enter that too, right? So let me click on find. It will bring those lines which we have received. Okay, so now they are telling me quantity invoiced, unit price 750. ठीक है, बिकॉज अपनी जड़ी ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨੇ ਕੁਆਂਟੀਟੀ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਹੈ on the first line, right? We received all 5, right, for 4D TV, but the other one same TV we received we accepted only 7. ठीक है जी, मेकिंग सेंस कि नहीं? तो बट ठीक है, now I want to match it with invoice. Okay, but I cannot directly match with the purchase order. ठीक है, you cannot match to this document. You can match only to the document specified by the invoice match option on the purchase order shipment. ਉੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ 4-way matching receipts ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ, 4-way matching, but what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to match with the purchase order. So how I have to do, I have to match with the receipts. ठीक है, for that, okay, let me go to the line. This is supposed to give me receipt option as well. Enter 4D TV. Okay, so match action should be receipts. Okay, now click on match. Now you see we have a different option, right? पहला सिर्फ परचेज ऑर्डर किया ही तो अपन को रिसीट दी ऑप्शन नहीं सी. But what I mentioned in the purchase order, I wanna match with the receipt, not only with the purchase order. देखिए सिस्टम ने मैंने अलाउ नहीं किया. Now I wanna match with the receipt. This is called matching. Three-way matching I'm gonna do now. Four-way it is because four-way just inspection on that. उधर अपन इनवॉइस ची कुछ मेंशन नहीं करना. So what is that receipt number? It was 93 something. Okay, now I'm searching all the receipt for this vendor. Sometimes it takes longer if this is old supplier and so many receipts. So we created 9013. So I'm gonna click on find, and I do have other options. Some people wanna like to search by packing slip number. Some people like a tracking number or shipment number, right? They can do that as well. Okay, and by purchase order as well if we have a purchase order option. So now I'm finding that receipts. Okay, match. Now system is telling me you have chosen to match to a document that has been set up self-billing. I ignore this one. This is someone did set up for self-billing. Okay, अपने अपने bill करना. Don't worry about that. Okay, 10 quantity. Okay. Total मैं 10 receive कीतियां ही. I accepted 7. But oh 3, so I wanna make a payment for 7 only. Those 3 need to be returned. For that we have to do a return transaction in the inventory. So you don't worry about that. That inventory people will do. ठीक है. So at the total amount होगी 5250 match. Okay. For next line. Okay. So you have 5 item. You received 5. Okay. Now billed right now is 0, but after this transaction it will be 5 billed. So let's click on match, and even though here I can do view receipt. Okay, if I want to see, I can also review the invoice. Okay, let's complete the matching process. समझ आ रहा है ना इस टाइम कोई क्वेश्चन? और काफ़ी अज ने बोले नहीं कुछ, मैंने क्वेश्चन ही पूछे. एटलीस्ट एक क्वेश्चन तो मैंने रोज़ जरूर पूछा करो. सुखविंदर ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ कोई नहीं आया कि नहीं ਇਹੋ जी कोई गल नहीं हैगी. So what I wanna say, like it's interacted, everyone is understanding, तो मैनू पता लगता रहता. So now you see आ देखा कि लाइन में कल मैनुअल इनवॉइस आप एंटर करता ही, right? Now everything is entered by system. I don't have to. I even the distribution, I didn't choose any distribution set, right? The distribution will be automatically. What will be the distribution? That accrual account, right? Which was on the PO line. That is a charge account. ठीक है? Okay. So let me come back here in the journal. It is telling me 1025. 10250. Okay, so now it is coming clear that tax problem we were getting yesterday. I also disabled that one. So that was also option on the supplier side. You want to calculate tax, yes or no? So I just put no. So you can find out your own. If you don't find, let me know. Okay. So now next step is gonna be validate this one, right? Never validated, right? Never accounted yet. Okay. Approval not required because we didn't enable an approval process. So click on action, validate. This was the option I was checking, apply or unapply prepayment. But let's validate first and create accounting, then we can apply and unapply the prepayment we made yesterday. Now this is full process like procure to pay, right? So what we did, created purchase order, supplier was already enter invoice and match with the PO, but we did three-way matching, that's why we matched to the receipts. If a two-way, PO is only enough. Now we are skipping the approval invoice, so we are at the pay invoice process now, right? And after the last one, okay, so we're gonna transfer to the GL, and also we have to reconcile payment in the cash management module. We haven't touched the cash management, so if we did that one, then I'll show you. Okay, so this is the needs revalidation. One hold has been put. Let's check what is that hold. Quantity billed exceed quantity accepted. ठीक है जी. On this number, quantity billed exceeds quantity accepted. कि ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਲਿੰਗ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ 5 ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ 5 ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਸੀਵ ਕੀਤੇ हैं, but we haven't accepted those one. ठीक है, वो एरर दे रहा है. लगता रिसीविंग च जो मैं रिसीविंग की ना, उदों इन्हें सही रिसीविंग नहीं हुई. ओके, so now system is giving it was four-way matching, but you haven't accepted. We can do that. We can view that receipts. Okay, I can also view purchase order from here. Also, no need to go to the purchasing module. So now this hold is by system. Until you fix it, you cannot release it manually. So let's view this receipt. But after this matching, we just have to make a payment for this invoice. But I want to show you that apply and unapply as well. Okay, let's wait then. Okay, for this receipt, okay, I can view the purchase order. I can do the receipt from payables module. I don't have to switch back to the purchasing. So this was the receipt header information 9013. Now I'm going at the transaction line. What were the line under this receipts? So if yeah, transaction is telling us it's not accepted, so what I have to do to complete this one, I have to note like payables user gonna notify the inventory people why you did not accepted it, so that people gonna check again, okay, if they wanna accept or not. So now this is telling me all those steps what I did. So I received 10, okay, accepted 7 and delivered 7 to the inventory. ठीक है, destination receiving C, and rejected 3. So but I was making a payment for 7 only, that's why system didn't give me error for these 3 one. If I would say okay, I'm gonna pay for a 10, system not gonna let me do that too. So here, yeah, you see you don't we don't see this accept option here, transaction. So it means when I didn't accepted it, so I missed that step for the second item. So if I have to remove this error, okay, so what I have to do, I have to go to the those receiving transaction. for this line number 2 I need to set those one. Okay, let me save this one. So invoice number is the today date as well. Okay, so I need to go to the purchasing again. It is telling here as well receipt quantity in the accepted is nothing. फॉलो हो रहा है गुरविंदर सिंह समय लग रहा है की कर रहा मैं अच्छा पूरा उदू याद रहना जो तुम ना आप करोगे ठीक है बेसिकली मैं उन्होंने रिसीव कर रहा फिर एक्सेप्ट कर रहा then I'm moving it to the inventory so because it's four-way matching ठीक है so what I did I tried to find I'm gonna find that receiving okay that purchase order ठीक है ਇਹ ਤਿੰਨ ਆਈਟਮ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ So I'm going to correction screen. So that I can correct what I didn't do in the inventory receiving. Yeah, this server performance is not good today, so it's taking longer. Usually it doesn't take that long. Let me open one more session so that we can continue our invoicing. I can do that by opening one more session. हाँ जी मैं कर देंगा ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਾਤਾ ਆਲਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸ਼੍ਰੀਰੀ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਸੀ ਜਰਨਲ ਲੈਜਰ ਐਂਡ ਪੇਬਲਸ ਬਹੁਤ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ हाँ जी हाँ जी बोलो नहीं नहीं हाँ जी मैं नोट कर लिया हूँ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ नेक्स्ट टाइम होएगा हाँ जी वो मेरी गलती हैगी है yeah it's taking longer what we will do we will make the payment for the item for the invoice whatever हाँ जी हाँ जी नहीं हाँ जी और तो नहीं कुछ और बस yes so meanwhile I'm opening another session so that I can make apply and unapply those invoices then we'll finish the class okay So you should not be concerned about inventory transaction, but it's good to have knowledge how does it work. So later if you have to analyze something, that is going to be very helpful. तो ਤੁਹਾਡਾ part ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਿ how the process is working fine, accounting is right? So ਇਹ main ਹੈਗਾ. Okay. I should have the trading part cut it. But let's see. Okay, नहीं आ गया the correction वाला भी. Let's do that as well. हाँ जी वही है. Hmm, okay. One second. I rarely go to the inventory module, so नहीं और सारी सेम ही हैगियां अभी हैं. Let me uh, line. I think that was line 1. Okay. ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ. Let me show you that apply and not apply and apply. Okay. So you need to go to action, apply, unapply. So this was the amount like I made prepayment yesterday, right? Prepayment 02 for 3000. Just click on apply on this one. You can partially apply. Okay. And just when you click here, so now that amount, it means like you have to make a payment for 8,250 only, not like full 10,250. ठीक है. Okay. So I can even unapply again if I want to. So देख लो जी. Now it is telling me okay. So this one 6,480 is paid because this was 3,000 amount plus tax. Total was 6,480, right? But this transaction is not calculating any tax. Now it is telling you okay only 3,770 is still need to pay. Okay. ठीक है. ਆਪਾਂ मैचिंग process अपना फिर दोबारा आना. We will start from requisition again. So this way it completes that our procure to pay process, but I'll still have to show you, as discussed today, that requisition process. We're gonna start it from how the approval hierarchy and how the buyer thing work in purchasing module. Okay, ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वीक ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ। आई होप जो भी क्वेश्चन है नेक्स्ट संडे तक पेबल्स मॉड्यूल दे ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰ ਲਓ। ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਅਪਲੋਡ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗਾ, ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਲ ਤੱਕ ਨਾ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਰਿਮਾਈਂਡਰ ਈਮੇਲ ਪਾ ਦਿਓ, ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਪਲੋਡ ਕਰ ਦੇਵਾਂਗਾ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਓਕੇ, ਸੋ we are done for the class। Okay, okay।